What is going on, everyone? Rocket here, and welcome to my video on Big Time. Big Time is a new game coming to the Metaverse, and it is being developed by the co-creator of Decentraland. So he actually left Decentraland, and this is the new project he is working on. Needless to say, I am incredibly excited about this game, not just because of that and the team that they have, but also just because of everything that surrounds this game, to be honest. So this game is an ARPG with MMO elements in it. I actually was in an AMA with the developers and got to ask some questions. And I asked them, hey, what type of game is this? What would you compare it to? Is it more like a Diablo, Monster Hunter, World of Warcraft? And they actually told me that it's 80% Diablo and 20% WoW. And that's actually how they talk about it internally. So as a huge ARPG Diablo fan, I am very excited for this. I played Diablo 3 on release and have played it ever since. I usually go back every few seasons. And needless to say, Era 37 boys, we're here. And I am excited to play Big Time. So yeah, this game's great. And hopefully you guys will see why I believe that through this video. So first and foremost, like I said, ARPG, the art style looks great. Let's just get right into it. So if we go to the game page over here, we can see, of course, it's a multiplayer action RPG where you team up with friends and adventure across time and space. I love anything space themed, and this, they've said actually that they're going to do a lot of cool stuff with this. It's across time and space. You can imagine how many different themes they'll be able to do when it comes to the sci-fi stuff. So that's going to be super sick. They were talking about that in the AMA. And just to go over some of the classes here, these are the classes that they're going to have at launch. So we got the Time Warrior, which is, you know, your standard kind of warrior guy. The Chronomancer, which is a magic and range character. We have the Shadow Blade, which is really an assassin. So he has stealth, a lot of speed. And we have, last but not least, the Quantum Fixer, who is your standard healer. So here's all the weapons you have. You get the Battle Axe, you get the Dual Blades, you get the two-handed great sword, sword and shield, quantum staff, and the war hammer. So yeah, it looks great so far just from the screenshots, but we're gonna dive into it more. Another thing that this game has is what they're calling space, which is basically land. In Decentraland, you can buy actually land in the game, and you own, you know, real estate in the game, and you can also do that in Sandbox and in a few other games. That are Metaverse gaming games. So in this game, they're calling it space, and appropriate because, right, we're traveling through time and space. So yeah, you'll be able to buy space. And actually in the AMA, again, I was in an AMA and I got to ask a lot of questions. So in the AMA, they actually said that it's 600,000 space that is going to be available. And guess what? They're going to be doing a sale this month, apparently. And also, most of the space that's actually going to be in the game is going to be obtainable through drops, and it's going to be a super rare drop. They actually said that they want you to feel like a oh crap moment, like when you finally get the space drop. And that's one of the great things that I like about this game. Okay, if they keep up with their promise, it's only going to be cosmetics. There's not going to be any play to win, or pay to win. Sorry, definitely play to win. There's not going to be any pay to win aspects in this game. Everything you get is going to be purely cosmetic. And in order to be good at the game and be the best, get the best gear, you really have to grind. So that's something that it really intrigues me, because a lot of these games, like, I'm not going to mention any, but a lot of these games that are play to earn, they're also pay to win, you know, like you have to pay, and then it gives you an advantage if you pay money. Whereas in this game, it's really a game first, and then it just has the crypto aspects on top of it. So going back to Diablo 3, if you guys ever played or want to look it up, it's an interesting case study there on what I'm going to mention right now. Back when Diablo 3 launched, they promised a real money auction house, and they actually released it, but they had to take it down after a lot of backlash from the community. And I also think there was a lot of security stuff possibly with it, like, you know, it wasn't necessarily completely legal for them to do that, but it was up nonetheless for a good while. And I remember I actually sold a glove that I crafted for $250, which was the max amount you could actually put an item up for sale. And I used that to buy a very expensive headset at the time. And I was just so ecstatic that I was able to grind out, play this game, and create something that I was able to sell for real money. So that really was like the pioneering of like some of the gaming NFT stuff without even realizing it, because I think the blockchain was out by then, but obviously NFTs weren't really a concept that people had back then. But just something interesting to note. And I think in the future here, it's honestly a no-brainer that these play to earn and having the blockchain, having the ownership involved in your game is going to be just a complete no-brainer. And a game that does not have that is not going to be a complete game. Like, basically, think about it. If you had the choice between playing Call of Duty or Battlefield and one of them pays you to play it, it's pretty obvious what you're going to choose. Sure, you might play the other one a little bit, but let's be real. You're going to play the one where you can actually make money, because if you're going to dedicate hours into something, you want to be able to own those skins that you work so hard for. And people grind like crazy. I grind like crazy in MMOs and games, and it's just for the pixels, and I don't get any reward from that. So now imagine if I can also get paid to play. People are going to be making living off of these games in the future, and it's honestly exciting to see. Not it's kind of like when the YouTube advent of gaming came out, and I know this is a big kind of sermon I'm giving you guys, so bear with me, sorry, but it really helps you fuse together the what I'm about to say. With the advent of gaming, like on YouTube, people really thought you couldn't make a living playing video games. Now it's obviously been proven that that's wrong, and there's tons of people that are making a living playing games, being pros, or making content, or whatever it may be. Now, but there's a little niche of people that aren't really addressed here. So only the guys with personalities, really, that have that personality to make content, or have the editing skills or whatever, that actually can put the time in to do that, are the ones that are able to make a living, or people that can perform under pressure, or can go to events and stuff. Those are the only people that can really make a living. What about the majority of the population that just plays games? There's so many people out there that don't make any videos, that don't go to tournaments and play professionally, and they just grind. Like, they just play games. They love playing games. This is an opportunity for that next frontier where those people will also be able to make a living. And I, again, incredibly excited about everything as it relates to crypto gaming, metaverse, and all of that stuff. I think honestly, it's where we're witnessing something great in front of our eyes. And by the way, this is my first video on this channel. So if you guys want to see more stuff about Big Time and more stuff about this, I'm going to be doing Let's Plays and all sorts of stuff. Anyways, click the subscribe, notification bell, thumbs up, leave me a comment with your thoughts and critiques. And I promise I won't be talking so much in the other videos. I'm just very excited. This is my first video, so if you guys could show me some love, let me know what you guys think. That'd be great. So moving on. So let's look at the Big Time token economy, okay? And again, one of the great things that I love about this game is the fact that it's so fair from the start. If they keep their promise, and I believe they will, this is going to be a great game to get started in right off the bat. And even if you come in later, you're going to know that the guys that are doing really well and that are at the top, like, they worked for their stuff. It's not going to be pay to win. So let's start talking about space. The way space works in the game, as I said, there's only going to be 600,000 plots of land, you could say, or a buyable space in the game. And this is something that came out of the AMA that I was in, and people are asking questions. So that's super cool. They're going to have a sale on that early December. So right now we're already in December 6th. I don't know how close they are to that timeline, but in the AMA they did say December, so it might be late December. But either way, soon they're going to have a sale on land, or space as they call it, and you're going to be able to buy into that for when the game launches. And the game's going to launch in April, by the way, in early access, and we'll talk about how you can get into that early access in a second. So space, the way space works is you basically buy space. Then you got to unlock a timekeeper to go reside in your space. And then you pay the timekeeper in the tokens that are in the game to recharge your hourglass. And now what you do with this hourglass is you equip this hourglass and you go around the world, killed monsters, and you find tokens, obviously by playing the game, as long as your hourglass has sand remaining. So in order to refill the sand, you need to use the tokens, and then your hourglass charge, and then that allows you to get tokens while you're playing. Now you can use those tokens in game to buy rare and exclusive NFTs, as well as to recharge your hourglass again and to start the whole process. So in order to do that, you're going to have space, or I believe you need to have a guild that has space or be affiliated with somebody that has space so that you can get an hourglass. So you can borrow an hourglass from a guild, or you can buy it from the store, or again, you can buy space or get space as a drop and do it that way. So super fair. And they actually said in the AMA that, again, this is the developers, this is what they said. They said that most of the space is actually going to be dropped as an in-game item. So super rare drop, and they want it to be an oh crap moment. They want you to, whenever you do get that space, that land as a drop, they want it to be like super exciting. And I mean, how isn't that going to be exciting? Imagine if you got a plot of land in Sandbox just by playing the game after killing a monster. That'd be super amazing, super cool. So yeah, that's how the space system works in the game. Now, I want to head over to their Twitter here to show you guys some screenshots of how it looks. Again, it's an ARPG, so it's a little bit of a hack and slash with MMO kind of elements. Here's one of the NFTs that drops, and it just looks like a really cool game. I love the art style. Obviously not for everybody. Maybe you're not a huge fan. Maybe you like the hyper realistic stuff. I love this art style. Reminds me of Borderlands, or like Dauntless, if you've ever played Dauntless. And here's some screenshots from inside of the game. And yeah, it looks really cool. Obviously not as polished as it could be, right? If you're really being nitpicky about the UI and stuff and you've played a lot of games. But let's be real, that's simple. As long as the core mechanics are there. And again, this is a game first, and it has the NFTs and the gaming and the blockchain stuff after. So really, really great stuff. So that's some screenshots from the game. Looks great. And as I said earlier, there's ways you can get into the early access. And the early access, and that's the launch of the game. So the way it's going to work is if you get into the early access, anything you acquire in the early access, it's yours. The game is out. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's early access because they're still working on the game, and they made that very clear. But anything you get in early access is going to be yours. So no worries about a wipe or anything. And yeah, again, that starts in April. And if you want to get into the early access, the way you do it is by heading to OpenSea. You can also do Binance, but I'm in the US, so I can't use Binance. But you can buy passes from the second market. So this is how you get into the early access. They have 3 tiers of passes, and the first one's gold. So if you have a gold pass, there's only 1,000 of them. And the way it works is the first 1,000 people, or there's 1,000 passes, so that'll allow the first 1,000 people to come into the game, into the early access. Then the next wave that they're going to let in is the silver pass holders. So silver passes, there is a total of 3,000 passes available, or 3,000 players will be allowed in. And then last but not least, there is the Jade Pass, which allows an additional 8,000 players to go into the early access. So all in all, with the passes, that's a total of 1,000 plus 3,000 plus 8,000, which is a total of 12,000 people that get to go early into the early access, of course. So yeah, I have myself a pass, so I am ready. And as soon as I'm in the game, trust me, I'm going to be posting videos for you guys. So definitely don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, as I said. And really, that's basically everything about the game for now. One last thing I do want to mention, and again, I got this from the AMA and I thought it was super cool. The way they're going to keep the game interesting, and really, really interesting, is by adding more classes. And they were actually saying that it's kind of like a League of Legends style that they want to do, where in League of Legends, if you've played it, or Dota, they add heroes, so they all have different abilities, and they add them periodically, so that just adds a new dynamic to the game. And it's free to play the game, guys. It's completely free. It's not like I'll mention an Axie Infinity where you need to actually buy an NFT to be able to start playing. No. Again, this is a game first. Everybody has access to all the characters, but by playing the game and working and grinding, that's how you actually get the play to earn aspect. So Super, super excited. I cannot wait for this game to come out, and I will be there right when it launches playing. So, once again, if you guys do enjoy this video, drop me a like, leave me a comment below, let me know what you think. And yeah, I can't wait to make more videos on Big Time and other cryptocurrency metaverse kind of games.